What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the South America Grand Finals for the March 3 finals. Sorry, everything is just crazy at the moment. Sorry for no uploads for a couple of days, just because again, I've just been getting back feeling better again, and also content's been pretty dead. But we've got hypercharges coming out tomorrow, and we've got potentially some balance changes. Let's take a look anyway at this matchup then. So we've got BC Gaming versus SK Kalalas. So both of these teams, I believe there hasn't been a different final in South America for a very long time. So this is one reason why I don't really cover South America too much on the channel, is because the region is the most predictable region on Earth. But now we've got some different teams and I'm excited. So one reason why we see a lot of like upsets right now is because of the meta. It's just plain and simple. The meta is pretty messy, so a lot of the better team, well, not even better teams, more established teams probably haven't adjusted to the meta as well. Also, there's just too many good brawlers. But again, this isn't taken away from BC Gaming and SK Kalalas, because I watched both of their games and they fully deserved it. It looked like, again, some people might say outdraft, but I thought it was pretty well deserved overall. So let's take a look at the bans then. So Carl is a frequently banned brawler, especially in South America and in North America. We didn't really see too much Carl in the EU and East Asia. I do think EU, well, the other regions were underrated, though. I think Carl definitely is like an 8-tip brawler, especially with spamming their fire gadgets. So if we go with the Lola, Lola's always pretty decent draft. I think she's not the greatest in this meta, though, but in Last Stop, I think this is by far her best map, because you can play Lola as a mid, you can play Lola as a lane. There's not many brawlers that kind of outrange Lola here. And then Ollie as well. Okay, Ollie is really good. Into Stu and Luvo, I do have my reservations, just because Stu can always dash out of Ollie's range, but he doesn't have the DPS to also kill him. Gotta remember that. And then Lu can of course freeze Ollie, so really good into that. So if I were them, what would really go to try and counter this? You could try and go with a Bell to try and counter the Lola and the Janet, but then you run the risk of facing off against the Ollie. But you could definitely do that. Okay, we go with the Ash. Yeah, Ash is pretty good into that, right? Ash into Ollie, into Janet. Again, I think Lola is a really strong pick. I couldn't honestly call this composition. I think, to be honest, I just like Janet. I just really like Janet. Ollie into Ash as well can be pretty good. We'll just have to see how this round goes. So yeah, the drafts have been pretty crazy. Primo ban as well. Why did they ban Primo? I keep seeing a lot of teams in South America ban Primo. I know that he's good in Brawl Ball, for example, on Super Beach, but this map, I didn't think he was that strong to warrant a ban. Maybe they wanted to go a certain brawler, so they banned out Primo in anticipation. That's my only thinking here. So yeah, I do really like BC's composition because of the Ollie, and also the Lola in the mid should be able to deal with the Lu. And then Janet is Janet. Janet is so incredibly strong. So we'll see here, freeze already onto the Lola. And again, I'm going to butcher some of these names, by the way, because I'm not used to seeing other teams at the top here. But now, as I say, that's Kalalas get complete control. So yeah, we can see Lola pushing up down the right, another Lu super. Brian is going absolutely crazy with these Lu supers, by the way. Ollie's going to super in on the Ash. He's going to get frozen by the time he can even get any control, and SKC are just completely taking over. There's no gems on the side of BC whatsoever here, and there's only 2 gems left. A hypercharge is going to come out, connect straight onto the Janet. Great hypercharge. He's playing out of his mind at the moment. Doritos needs to try and gadget on in here. He's actually going to get the connection onto the Lu. He could be able to get the Ash as well. He just doesn't get the ammo in time, and that's looking like a comfortable SKC win in the end. Nearly turnaround potential there. That's the thing about Ollie that people don't realize. Well, this could be a kill from Lola. Janet with the hypercharge as well. Okay, this could be something. Just miss that first bomb, unfortunately, and just doesn't have enough time to actually confirm the kill and stop the countdown. So, as I was saying, what a lot of people get wrong with Ollie, like, yeah, you can kind of beat him in a 1v1, and some people think he's overrated. I don't think he's overrated, because it's just that play, that pop-off play, just kind of out of nowhere. It reminds me of Fang in a way. Well, you don't get team wipes, but you know how you can just completely change the game with one play? Those are the brawlers that are always pretty good, and Ollie can do that with super and gadget. And I know people will be saying, well, he was underrated before that, but I don't think you could do that combination right before, because you just self-mute. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it just wasn't that powerful back when he was first released whatsoever. Now it's just such a good strategy. I think Doritos kind of messed up gadget a little bit there, but he should be able to confirm the kill onto Ash. Really well played there. Supering against the wall, making it so he can shoot much faster. This is definitely much better this time around. I just think everything that could go possibly wrong went wrong for BC Game in there, and but just on a map like this, well, on a lot of gem grab maps, to be honest, like you lose control once and you just kind of get spawn trapped for the majority of the game. So Loco's going to go hit aggro here on the Ash. That was a pretty risky play, to be honest. He could have easily gone down there, I thought. So now we're going to go triple stack one lane. That just allows Christian to completely push forward. The Ash as well, he's going to get completely burnt down. Derb's going to go in here, but I don't think it's really going to mount to too much, but he does need to slowly start working his way over to that left lane so I can apply more pressure onto the gem carry. But we're doing a decent job so far. All is even. Also, Doritos has no gems, so he can just go in whenever he wants. Does manage to get the gadget down. Could get some good combinations here. Oh, he just didn't manage to get any gems. He's going to get taken down by the hypercharge. Does get the kill onto Christian though. Really good kill onto the Stu. And yeah, those Ash pets actually doing a lot of work there. Thought Loco could deal with that a little bit better here. And then here comes the hypercharge from Janet. This should be a kill onto Lou, but with that speed zone turret, it's actually keeping him alive for the most part. It cycles through to another super. That is just absolutely insane. So much pressure here from Janet, but needs to really make use of this, especially with Janet in their spawn completely. So one more gem is all that they need. It's going to spawn on the other side, but we can wait for that second gem after this one, and they'll still be able to win because he's applying so much pressure here. Oh, the Lu hypercharge goes down on Loco, and he's going to get the kill, and he's going to cycle through to another one. Can the Ash clean up though? I don't think he really needs to do all that because there is a gem in the left top corner as well. So the game is just completely flipped on its head there with that Lu hypercharge. I don't really see Lu hypercharges connecting too much in pro play anymore, but Brian has just hit every single one. Here comes the Ash hypercharge as well to try and to keep him alive. Hypnotize is in, 2 seconds left, but it's just not enough DPS on the side of BC. So SKC may take the first set there. I wouldn't really say that second game was that convincing, but they managed to do it. Again, the Lu just completely popping off. Let's hop into the next set. Right, guys, jumping into the second set then, we've got Brubble Pim Hole Punt, and we have a Poco first pick straight away. Didn't even get any time to digest what is happening here. So M's ban is kind of crazy. Again, my only thinking is that they wanted to go Poco first pick. I just don't really see too many like target bans right now in the meta because there's so many problem brawlers. I never really see Ems, so clearly they want to go this Poco strategy, and I think Ems is probably the only one big counter to Poco right now. So I'm hoping SKC have something up their sleeve here to counter the Poco. I did see in a semi-final game, I can't remember when it was, but they I think a team first picked Poco, and it was like a really open map, and it still just completely popped off. So if I go with a Max, Max is not a brawler I'd recommend going into Poco, to be honest. If anything, Poco counters Max. So I'm unsure by SKC's drafting straight away here. That's just common knowledge, literally, because Max can't keep up the DPS unless they clearly want Poco to go the healing gadget, is my guess. They want to go brawlers that don't get counted out by protective tunes, and they go with a Melody as well. So okay, Melody is really good on pin a hole punt, of course she is, but again, I'm a bit worried about Poco compositions here, because in my eyes, they could surely just go like Poco double tank even, or Poco one tank and then a decent lane to counter the Melody. Yeah, here we go. We're going to go with the Ash, straight away thinking of the Ash. We're going to go with Meeple. Okay, so I really like BC Gaming's composition here, personally. They've got everything they could want, and if you're going to try and counter the Ash with any type of stun or like Lu, like you can't go Lu into this. Lu would be perfect in the old days, but not good into Ash and Poco anymore, especially protective tunes. So what would you even go into this, to be honest? There is Primo. Primo could be a very good option, to be fair. Primo into the Ash, into Poco, into Meeple. I don't think they'll be able to deal with that. So personally, I'd go with the Primo. To go with Surge. Okay, Surge, pretty good into Ash for the most part, but then of course once Ash gets his rats, and if it's a really good Ash play, I think Ash does have the better of Surge, especially with any sort of Poco heal. So Poco's going to be using the heal gadget absolutely here. Melody's going to be able to farm a bit of super from the Ash. I don't know whether they can contain BC Gaming's composition, to be honest. We'll have to see. We'll see how good the Melody is. The Melody is very, very good, and she can make some good plays and then pop off down the lanes, but I just think there's too much like pressure in the middle of Poco and Ash for SKC to really deal with. So I keep seeing the fan blowing on their heads. It's making me cold right now. I don't know. It's not hot in the UK. Can we just not have any fan talk? I need the heating on. I don't even know what you call it, guys. I need the gas on. But BC is just going to walk this in straight away, surely, here with the Ash. Oh, messes that up. I think he was trying too hard to get his super there. Instead, he should have just walked in the ball and scored the goal. But, yeah. Mistakes were made. Looks like Poco's going to get some good collateral damage there with the super. Melody's already got hypercharge in 30 seconds, by the way. I was not watching that. How did she get hypercharge that quickly? I have no idea. But again, all the pressure is for BC. Even with Melody, I don't really understand that super there. Two supers just to get up the map a bit quicker. Should have got one super left, so just going to pass that over. Which was a pretty good play, but BC just got all the control here. That's what I'm talking about. I just think their composition is just way better. Just max into Poco makes 0 sense, especially on a map like this. And they're just going to walk it in. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it personally, but we'll go with it. Maybe I'm going to get proven wrong, especially once Max gets hypercharge. This could be a good way to score. So, opposite, maybe a little bit too early here, but Surge gets the super. Let's see whether they can overwhelm them. I mean, Meeple just gets a double tap in there. It's actually going to be a goal. Okay, this is looking much better for SKC. The Melody hypercharge is proven too good, especially combined with Max's hypercharge. I mean, it's some good synergy, but here comes the Poco hypercharge as well. Another Max speed's going to get some good pressure. Poco hypercharge, we're going to try and pass it over to the Melody, but it's just too much HP on the side of BC. They're going to run it down. Another gadget, another super. There's just nothing they can do into this. Look at this. They just don't have the DPS to even try and contest it, and they're going to walk it in and score. So really good from BC. Again, is Poco really that good? I know he probably is SD on this meta now. I was kind of hanging on to a couple of weeks ago saying that Poco wasn't S tier because the maps, there's not enough good maps for him. But in the rank rotation, there probably isn't. But in the competitive rotation, what I'm watching, there definitely is a lot of amazing maps for Poco. Like this map, it's literally made for Poco. All the hot zone maps are completely made for him. He's just too good on these type of game modes. This gadget is also just broken. Like, look at that. Such a good play to block off there. And he just had to free walking, especially with a Poco and a tank. How are you supposed to stop that? You just don't have the DPS to take it down. So Christian's going to get pretty weak already. I don't understand that. I guess he just did that super to get the extra reload speed. He's going to throw out the wall there. If he passed the ball to Ash there, he could have been in a great position to walk that in straight away. I mean, this is looking all but over here. I just don't really see a way how SKC really come back here. I just think they've been completely out-drafted. The Melody hypercharge with the respawn bubble is going to be pretty good, but when there's two players shooting at the Melody, especially when they've already saved up all the ammo, I don't really know about that. Normally a Melody, right, you want to try and face people. It's just like with any assassin, I've wasted a bit of ammo, so you're trying third party a lot of the time. Again, Melody's going to get taken down. I just don't think the Melody is good enough to make it work. And he's going to be able to walk it in. He is going to be able to walk it in. So yeah, clear outdraft in my opinion from BC Gaming. The first pick, Poco. Is there no counter to that, really? I've just, again, maybe the Ems is the only counter, but that's going to be set number 2. Let's jump into the next. Guys, now jumping into set number 3, we have Bounty, Layer Cake, and straight away from the bans, I see there's no Hank. And they've made this mistake already during the semi-finals. They let Hank open too much, and it never ends well. So, Hank first pick from SKC. I honestly just want to say they win the set no matter what. Hank already in Layer Cake was such a good pick before the hypercharge and before all the meta changes. He already was one of the best brawlers on this map. Believe me, it was so good on this map. And now they leave it open. So what do you go to counter Hank? I know that maybe in my head they've been banning Primo so they can go Hank. Maybe, I don't know why they've been banning Primo so much. So maybe they go with a Primo. They go with a Lou here into the Hank, which is pretty good. But Lou isn't like completely the best brawler into Hank on Layer Cake because there's just too many walls. And we go with the Poco as well. Poco and Lou. Poco and Lou. Poco and Lou. So straight away here, I'll probably look at maybe a thrower that's good against any assassins as well. Like a decent one. Maybe you could just pair it with a Larry. Maybe you can pair it with, I don't know, you can't really go Tick, can you? You can't really go many other throws. Maybe Mr. Beverlift, Mr. P. I completely forgot about Mr. P as well. Mr. P Hank. How is this draft supposed to lose? Mr. P and Hank. Mr. P isn't the greatest in bounty and knockout, by the way. Like I've always said, it takes too long to get his hypercharge. But I think against like a Poco composition, I think you can farm a lot of hypercharge, and that is what I'm going to go for. So Mr. P is actually good into assassins and everything like that now because he farms it like crazy. I'm going to go with Carl as well. So Carl, I rate that pick. I rate it. The good reason why is because he actually has the DPS to deal with tanks now, especially with his fire gadget. And then maybe if they go to thrower for whatever reason, then you can just switch over to your gadget, flying hook, and then you can counter throws like that. So really like this draft from SKC. I can't really see how it loses, but the thing about Mr. P and Carl, the same brawler counters those two brawlers, if you get what I mean. So maybe they can cook up something pretty interesting. They're going to go with the Ashe again. So they're abusing Ashe like crazy in this region. I think he's a solid brawler, but I didn't think he was this good. Again, paired with the Poco can be pretty good as well. So in terms of the draft, I mean, Lou only really has great matchup onto Hank. I think I just can't see a way that SKC loses. They've got Hank and Mr. P, 2 of the 3 best brawlers in the game. They've got Carl as well, who's pretty solid. Lou doesn't have the complete best matchups in the world, especially on this type of map. It's a bit more of an open map. I could definitely side with Lou, or if there's a bit of wall break on their side. And then Poco, Ashe, I guess it's a good synergy, and it's hard to get a kill onto any of them, but Carl can deal with Poco and Ashe for sure, especially when alone. So that's going to be the first kill straight away onto the Poco. He got absolutely deleted. That was one of the fastest kills I've ever seen in my life. He's got to go with the Ashe here, so Carl can follow up the kill. That's what I'm saying. Like, Ashe has no CC, so Carl can always just go on and super all the time. Literally, the only way that Carl's going to get his super cancelled is this Lou, if he ends up freezing him. And then a good thing about Poco, though, to be fair, is that he's going to cancel out all of Carl's fire, so maybe he should have switched off that gadget, perhaps. But I don't know. What do you even do into that? I mean, still, they're completely dominating. Ashe is going to get the kill onto Mr. P here, but it doesn't really matter too much because he's still got a 1-star lead. It's all on the side of Carl. He's got all the stars here, so of course he can't die. Mr. P, I reckon, is pretty close to his hypercharge already here. It's all down to his Ashe, whether he can pop off enough. Okay, another Mr. P Porter. Hypercharge already. And just how do you defeat this? You've got Carl hypercharge, you've got a Hank hypercharge, you've got a Mr. P hypercharge. I don't see a way. He's going to try and push up to try and get rid of this hypercharge. Carl nearly dies there. Manages to stay alive just. And then Hank's getting frozen as well. The fire gets saved by the Poco. Absolutely unreal. And the hypercharge is still just coming through every single time. So the Mr. P and the Hank can die. Either one of them can die, just not the Carl. Just not the Carl. That's going to be great hypercharge from the Lou. He's going to get the freeze onto Christian. He's got to get taken down now. There's just one kill is all they need. That Lou super is going to cut off the entire team. The Carl's doing a great job of just pressuring them back. The Ashe hypercharge coming in here nearly gets the Mr. P down. I think they're going to get the kill. I really feel like they're going to come back here. Here comes the super onto the Lou, though. Really great play from the Carl. It completely just saves the game. That is such a great play. Really, really loved that. That was so clutch because it was clear that they're getting backed into a corner. And they were going to go and try and just get that one kill, try and get out, but the Carl flank just makes it so it's impossible for them to retreat. Absolutely love that play. Really, really clutch. And yeah, that was quite risky though, because against a Lou can definitely like freeze the Carl. But I think he just sees this moment perfectly and completely saved him there. So I reckon that was a bit closer than SKC would have wanted, considering just how good their draft is. But the Ashe is definitely there. Well, of course, it's Ashe. Ashe is the brawler we're looking for to try and pop off and make those plays, especially with the Poco. So already, the problem is, the longer you leave it in the game, the more you're going to feed the Mr. P hypercharge. So you need to try and establish a lead pretty early on if you're BC. And yeah, because the more you put pressure into this Mr. P, he's just going to get it eventually. So Carl, he's going to just barely stay alive. 52 HP on the side of the Ashe, and he manages to get out in time. So now it's looking pretty good. But again, this Mr. P is going to get a lot of pressure. There's no brawlers that can shoot over the walls here for BC, so we're going to get pressure back into spawn pretty quickly. So maybe we just need to keep the aggression for a little while, because again, the Hank's going to get a lot of pressure. Mr. P hypercharge already with 1 minute left. This is just going to turn it overwhelming. Like, surely SKC find an opportunity to go in and get a team wipe. So we're going to play it pretty calm and collected, which I like. Don't rush things. Don't feed Lou hypercharge. You know, eventually you're going to be able to pressure him back. I think it's doing a good job here of not feeding the Lou hypercharge, but we're not really getting much damage or control here. Christian's going to be all backs against the wall. Don't really like the super. That was a bit too early in my opinion, but the Carl's going to go in here and just clean up Gets the full team wipe here. None of them actually died on the side of SKC, and it's looking disastrous now for BC. It's looking pretty much over. That hypercharge is going to get taken down though, but I bet Mr. P is already close to another one, right? He's going to go in here on the Hank. He's not really going to do too much, but he just finally get some space onto the Cole. Cole is pretty weak here, but another Mr. P hypercharge. Lou hypercharge coming down. Just a 4-star is what they need. We could definitely get this here. They're all the way back. Can Hank get a kill in time? I don't even know what's happening. Stars are just going everywhere, and SKC managed to win that. So, again, by the draft, I just think, is this just draft stars? Maybe it is just complete draft stars. That was a complete out draft. Yeah, giving them the Hank, giving them the Mr. P, it's just too much. But to be honest, they weren't even a difference maker. I think the Carl was definitely the difference maker there. Definitely getting the important kills. So that's going to be set number 3. Let's jump into the next one. Guys, jumping into set number 4, we have, was it Safe Zone? Yeah, Safe Zone Heist. So you can see by the bands already, Chuck, Ban, Melody, Angelo, Barry, Carl, and Piper. Piper, wouldn't have thought that was going to be like the strongest pick. But again, my mind here is that they've definitely done some homework in terms of draft, and they're doing a lot of target bans inside of BC gaming. To go with Piper, obviously to go to Bell first pick is my mind here. Because what else can you really go mid into that? We're going to go to Mandy. Okay, that is interesting. Mandy on Safe Zone. Don't know how to feel about that. It used to be pretty good, and especially the hypercharge, I can definitely see it. But in a really messy meta, I can't see how that works personally. So if I was against a Mandy, I'd be licking my lips, because you could just easily just go like some aggressive brawlers and try and counter out that. So what do you really go into? Well, it's all down to what they pick here. Like, you definitely go with like a Daryl here, to be honest. I'm trying to think. I've not really played Safe Zone in a while because it hasn't been in the ranked rotation. So we're going to go with a Juju here again. I think I would be able to pressure this, surely. Juju and Mandy. The old Lily would have actually been a 5 pick into this, to be honest. You could go with, just need something that needs to create some space. Can't really think of any brawlers off the top of my head. I know Daryl could be a really, really good one. Trying to look through the brawler list to see if I can find any brawlers that could counter that. You can't really go like Penny because you got the Juju here. Any longer ranges kind of gets countered by. You can't really go 8-bit. Yeah, you can't really go 8-bit because of that. You go to Lily. See, I told you, Lily would have been fire. I don't know about Lily since the gadget rework, because I feel like it's pretty much killed her, but this is definitely a good spot for Lily, because it's just free pressure onto thrower, onto a sniper. Neither of these are going to be able to kill Lily quickly. I like it. I like the thinking. Sometimes my old head, even after not playing much Brawl Stars this week, I've still got it in me, okay? I've still got it in me. They go with a Brock as well. So Brock with some damage I really like. They're going to go with Daryl. Again, it's going to be pretty interesting here. So you got Mandy versus Bell. Mandy, of course, wins that mid-interaction, but Mandy does get pressed back pretty quickly. Lily versus Daryl. Daryl will out-DPS a Lily, but at the same time, Lily can get onto the safe much quicker. And then you've got Juju versus Brock, and of course, Brock's going to out-DPS. So it's going to be a really messy one. I might predict a set 5 here. This is what I'm just thinking initially. It's going to be a really, really close game, but I'm thinking a set 5. I'm thinking set 5. Because that Brock's going to deal a lot of damage, especially if left alone. And there's only really... Actually, there's one DPS brawler in both teams. It's Daryl versus Brock, essentially, here. Then Lily can definitely do a good job as well. So, first gadget straight away onto Juju here. It's going to get him the kill. Oh, he nearly got the kill onto the Mandy as well. I think this pressure is going to be too much for SKC, surely here. Surely too much pressure. A couple of good shots onto the safe already. And Lily's already got super. He's going to work the way onto the Mandy here. Yeah, nice. Going to get the kill. He's also using the speed star power, which I really like. Because against, especially with the gadget rework, I think it's just too hard for Lily to get super. So Mandy Super's going to go in. He's going to get a hit onto the Bell into spawn, but it's just too much damage from the Brock here. Really like this synergy here of Lily going in and Brock getting damage onto the safe. Juju, again, is just not the best at defending. Even when she was... well, she's always been really good, but before the nerf, I just don't think she's like completely the best. She's also going to pop the wrong gadget there. If she would have popped the shield, I think she might have stayed alive, but it's just too much pressure. Mandy hypercharge just needs one Lily like gadget onto the opponents to really do something. I don't understand that super. That was completely wasted. And now they might be fumbling this, because now it's going to take a long time to get this. Actually, no, it's not. Here comes the Juju. It's going to feed a lot of Lily's super. This is just back and forth. 13% in it for both teams. The hypercharge popped from the Brock. Can they get any shots onto the safe? Though this is so close. Daryl onto the safe. That is 1%. That was all that was in it. Absolutely insane. Did Daryl hit the 9k gadget on the safe there? I don't even know how. It looked like every single bullet hit the safe. That is absolutely insane. Now they're on match point. I really think... I don't know. Lily didn't really throw it. I think that hype charge just completely changed the game. And then after, of course, once a couple of people go down, you can just rain damage onto the safe. So I think BC Gaming had that. I really think they had that in their hands. I don't know how they managed to lose that. And they've worked out the Lily much better that time around as well. Straight away, like, he didn't even get a kill onto anybody. And now Mandy already has super. This could be all but over. Like, I'm really liking the way that SKC are playing at the moment. And of course, it wouldn't be a monthly final without a little bit of lag, hey? I've been hearing that it might be the location where the operations are in terms of, like, their connection wherever they're at is one reason why it might be lagging. But I've heard a lot of people saying it's because one person is, like, DDoSing the server. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. This is a different lag than what we're used to. We're normally just used to seeing the Wi-Fi symbol. That's such a really good kill there from Brock. Normally Brock's pretty hard to kill at that kill someone at that mid-range. And it gets a really good super onto the safe. So now the deficit is pretty much... it's been reverted. I don't even know what is happening here. Brock is just like... Are they lagging in game as well? It looks like they're lagging in game as well. This to me looks like they're lagging in game. I don't even know. The Lily super's going to miss, but the gadget's going to allow him to get onto the Mandy pretty quick. Okay, this is getting pretty messy in BC. The thing about BC's comp, they're not really good at defending. A really good roll there from Christian. He's getting a lot of control here. And that's going to be the game. Surely that's going to be the game with the lag and everything going on. 280 HP. One shot is all that they need. Again, are they lagging it in game? Oh, I don't even know what's happening now. It's such an anticlimactic ending, but SKC, they managed to clutch things up. So I really like the Lily pick, but I think in this meta, especially since the gadget changes, I think it's probably too bad, right? It's too bad. And then the Daryl response, Daryl's just a better version of Lily, if anything. So yeah, in the end, SKC win that. I've really thought that the competition would have worked a lot better. So congratulations to SKC. Again, this is the first time in a long time, I think, a different team other than Loud and Caster Brawl won the monthly finals. And of course, in my predictions for the monthly final winners, I'm 0-3 at the minute. So yeah, I think this meta is not great for predictions. So yeah, that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.